greatest game yet in front of a national television audience. It's the McDonald's All-American High School game from the Ford Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Hi, everybody. Alongside Nancy Lieberman and Tim McCormick, I'm Dave Pash. And, guys, Candace Parker is the story, but she's not going to use this as a springboard to go straight to the NBA or even the WNBA. She's going to Tennessee, but, Tim, we've got her here tonight.
Yeah, and she's absolutely special, Dave. She blew us away as the dunk champion, two-time National Player of the Year, and right before our eyes, she is changing the game of the center position for girls the way Cheryl Miller did back in the early 80s. And, Nancy, you worked the regional for Tennessee, going to play for the Volunteers. What are the challenges, knowing Pat Summitt the way you do, that lie in front for Candace?
Well, Candace certainly is going to have to bring intensity when she shows up on the campus of Tennessee. I think that the game will be fine for her, but just the next level, the only thing that she'll lack is the experience of actually playing at that next level. But I think she'll be fine. She told me she was dunking when she was 15 years old. Not bad. What she does here, these things get you on Leno, Letterman, Good Morning America. She is quite the athlete. She is redefining her position.
And isn't it amazing that those dunks were off a surgically repaired knee? She had her ACL done 8.5 months ago.
It's amazing, too, guys, that she is not the first girl to dunk in a high school game. Sylvia Fowles will start in this game at center. She's off to LSU. You see the rest of the starters there for the East. We'll tell you the schools where they're going to go as we go along. Sharday Houston gets the start. She's going to UConn. There's Parker Plummer is off to UCLA. Wiley Gatewood to Tennessee, and Wiggins to Stanford. Well, it's been a great week, guys, and looking forward to seeing what they have in store. It was interesting talking to a lot of the NBA scouts who were actually at the girls' scrimmage yesterday, and after a while they started asking, well, where's she going to school, and tell me about her. They were definitely interested in considering how well they were playing during the scrimmage.
Yeah, I feel that the NBA scouts are frustrated by the lack of fundamentals from the boys. The girls definitely more fundamental in dribbling, left and right hand, making good passes. Really noticed just a real impressive skill level.
An alley-oop to Parker to start the game. Great pass by Sade Wiley Gatewood, who will join Parker at Tennessee and play for Pat Summitt.
Well, Tim, you were talking about the fundamentals. In the women's game, you still need to set a screen. You still need to have some continuity within your offense, whereas in the men's game, a lot of that's been lost because of the one-on-one.
Humphrey, an excellent deep shooter. Missing that try, rebounded by Candace Wiggins from La Jolla, California. Wiggins, the daughter of the late baseball player Alan Wiggins. Candace is off to Stanford in the fall. Parker gets her shot blocked by Sylvia Fowles, but it'll stay West basketball.
And without question, Sylvia, the premier defender, but she had no answer. Beautiful delivery, kept the ball high. And Candace Parker, as advertised, put the ball in the rim.
See what happens when you turn your head on defense and look at the ball. You lose the player, even in an all-star game.
And Sharday Houston, who averaged 35 points per game for San Diego High School. He's fouled by Fowles. And West coach for this game, Kathy Self-Morgan from Duncanville, Texas. 80% winning percentage at Duncanville High School.
It's absolutely legendary what Duncanville High School has done. The great Sandra Meadows, who passed a while back, really built that program into something special. And, you know, when you have guys like Tamika Catchings coming through there, you know you've done something right.
Houston, who broke Cheryl Miller's all-time California State scoring record, gets the free throw, and it's 3-0 West.
I heard the comparison that she plays a lot like Swin Cash. Nancy, do you agree with that?
You're talking about
Houston?
I like the fact that she can shoot the ball from the outside. She's a little bit more physical, I think, at this stage of her career than Swin Cash, but Swin certainly developed. Talking about redefining the three spot. She can step out and shoot threes.
We've seen a lot of shot blocks early in this game. You get the sense that these ladies have played at a certain level in their high school. They're not used to going in and having so many great shot blockers.
There's the girls' three-point shooting champion, Sade Wiley Gatewood.
The one thing that really is impressive to me is not only can they shoot and rebound, but they all average 3 or 4 assists a game. This game is off the bounds. The future of the game, you've got to catch and shoot, but you must create your own shot.
Another block shot. Tim talked about that just a moment ago. It's a jump ball, and it will be East basketball. And coaching the East is Al Austin from Jacksonville, Florida. We talked about the 80% winning percentage for Kathy Self-Morgan. How about a 93% winning percentage?
It's stupid when you only lose 59 games and you win 716. It's crazy. Al, you should not be retiring. You should stay here and share all your knowledge with the coaches and with the players.
Nancy had a great perspective, though. He said over his 26 years, he can't believe how big and athletic these players are. He said when he took over, it was 2-on-2 defenses. Everybody walked it up, passed it around, a very non-athletic game.
Yeah, and you know what happened? As you see the nice three-point shot, not a lot of defense being played, but that would be NBA range right there by Wiley Gatewood. What I like is the fact that we've watched you. We've watched the guys, and you've shown us what the next level is.
Well, you watched him. You haven't watched me, which is a good thing, believe me. Houston. Nicely done. Darday Houston.
She just appears to be a natural scorer. You know, she does everything well, and at the end of the game, no matter whether she plays great or not, she's always going to have her points.
They call Parker with the foul, even though she blocked the shot. She kind of laughs it off. Candace, coming from a basketball family. Her dad, Larry, played at Iowa. Her brother, Anthony, played for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, he played 2 years for the Sixers. He played a year for the Magic. Now he's in Israel playing in the Euro League. You know what? It's pretty good when you average 22 points on 12 shots. That's efficiency.
This is Erica White, who will be going to LSU, who was in the Final Four this year. White coached by Al Austin in high school.
She reminds me a lot of Tamika Johnson, who's the point guard currently for LSU. But the fact that she's going to get to play with Simone Augustus, who's averaging well over 25 points in the NCAA tournament, is going to be just a gift.
She's absolutely the best dribbler in this game. Coach has just raved about her ability. I don't think anybody took the ball from her all week long.
White puts it in there, and West has a 5-point lead. Make that a 3-point lead with 3 minutes gone by.
You know, the fun thing about this game is that so many of the gals on the court have played U-ball with each other. They've teamed up in a lot of different aspects. They might be from the same area. So there's friendships that they've been able to cultivate, and now they take them to college, and that just gives you bragging rights when you're texting each other.
It also, it's a new era, because with all of the AAU basketball, it was probably the same for you. When I played the McDonald's All-American game back in 1980, I had never even met a guy from another team. I was just solely right where I grew up. But these players know each other very well. Some of them have played against each other 8 to 10 times before.
And Tim, the thing that I really like about your statement, when you were playing in the McDonald's All-American game, I was at McDonald's eating because there wasn't a McDonald's All-American game for women. This is the 3rd year, and I'm really very, very proud of Ronald that he made that choice to include the women.
Ron took care of the ladies. I like
women
that.
eat. We love to eat, and we love to be involved. And you know, you said the guys were watching the women, and you know, basketball is basketball.
When Tim was in the McDonald's game, I might have been at McDonald's, but I probably was in a bit.
Thanks.
Unnecessary.
What exactly are you saying?
Well, it was meant more towards Tim, Nancy.
I don't even. I think I might be the oldest one here.
So far, the leading scorer is Houston with 4 points. She scored 71 points in a game as a sophomore in high school.
Wow. This is the battle that everybody's enjoyed all week long. Wiley Gatewood going up against Erica White. They're both so quick and aggressive.
Houston missing there. Plummer keeps it alive and fouls White. What do you guys think so far of the pace?
I would say that it's a typical all-star game, sort of like some boxers coming out, jabbing a little bit, not quite sure what to think, a little bit on the sloppy side. But I do think that the talent is coming through.
Oh, well, there's no doubt. There's so much talent on the floor. And what I'm sensing right now is there's a lot of players trying not to be selfish, but they're all averaging between 15 and 35 points a game, respectively, in high school, and they're trying to give up the rock.
Anasicki with a nice pass to Fowles, and she is fouled, and will go to the line. Candace Wiggins, the guilty party there. Fowles going to Louisiana State University as well to play for Pokey Chapman. 6 foot 5 inches tall, from Miami, Florida.
That is the one thing that LSU was missing this year. They lost their 2 bigs in the WNBA draft, and it's remarkable that they're getting to the Final Four because they were a little shallow in the post.
And substitutions by both teams. Laura Harper into the game, along with Essence Carson for the East squad. Harper going to Maryland. Carson going to Rutgers. Sissy Pierce in for the West team. She's off to Stanford. Doris Griffin is going to Texas Tech in as well. Kirsten Forrestal headed to Oregon. And Kiana Chaney is going to LSU, is also into the game.
Boy, and LSU definitely loaded up. They've got 3 players in this game, Fowles, White, and Chaney.
And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing 2 players going to Rutgers, 2 going to Maryland, 5 going to Tennessee. No wonder Pat Summitt was smiling when I was in Norman doing the Midwest Regionals.
You know, some people consider Pat's class one of the greatest of all time. They have 6 total. 5 of them are playing in this game.
And that might not be far from the truth, because we think of the class of '98 that had Sue Bird and Swin Cash and Asia Jones and Tamika Williams, the group that just literally obliterated women's basketball at UConn. They were 4 of the top 6 picks in the WNBA draft. That's nothing to
Incredible.
laugh at. That's major talent.
Fowles gets the second free throw to go. West with a 2-point lead. Candace Parker picking up where she left off from Sade Wiley Gatewood. She scores on the alley-oop.
I decided to make some serious changes. Chicken McNuggets are made with white meat. If they can change for the better, so can I.
My friends and enemies, 20.
20 in the house right now.
Sparkling for power.
Introducing the new Nike 20 collection. Nowhere but Champ Sports.
Gateway's got a powerhouse of a PC at an amazing price. Right now, you can get our fast 3 GHz 510T desktop for only $799.99. It features the Intel Pentium 4 processor with HD technology that lets you run several programs. So you can play games and burn CDs at the same time, all at a super low price. Call now, and for a limited time, you'll get free shipping on your powerful new PC.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the McDonald's Girls High School All-American Game is presented by McDonald's and in part by Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
Welcome back to the McDonald's High School All-American Girls game here in Oklahoma City. Dave Pash, Tim McCormick, and Nancy Lieberman. And out of the game right now is Candace Parker. What'd you think, Nancy, from the 4.5 minutes we saw Candace out there?
Well, I like the fact that they went alley-oop, the first player of the game. And, you know, you're going to see a lot of substitutions because the players have to play at least 12 minutes in this game. And I actually like the rule.
Here's Mati Ajavan with the ball. She's going to Rutgers. She missed on that. There's the alley-oop to Parker. And then here's the block on the other end.
That's nice. She's just so long and can extend herself. can play one of 4 or 5 positions on the floor.
Parker, the Morgan Wooten National Player of the Year, says she wants to be a sports anchor someday.
Dream job.
Turnover by Mel Thomas. Let's check in with Tim McCormick, who is with Candace Parker.
Thanks, Dave. Candace, how'd you feel? Looked like you're doing well out there.
I did okay. You know, missed a couple easy shots, but, you know, tried to do a good job of getting this ball. We played some good D. I'm happy.
All right, let's talk about the dunk contest test last night. Were you surprised at all that you actually won? Was that your mindset going in?
My mindset going in was just to get one down, and I was really shocked that I actually came away with the victory.
5 out of 6. The boys, have you talked to them about going in and beating them in the dunk contest?
No, I'm not a talker. I just go out and just play, and they've been very supportive.
All right, talk to us about the celebrity. All of a sudden, everybody wants to talk to you. Letterman, Good Morning America, all the shows want to talk to Candace Parker. What's that feel like?
I mean, I just try to take it in stride. I mean, I'm happy to close my high school career out like this. I mean, you know, playing the McDonald's All-American and getting opportunities like going out to New York and, you know, and playing here.
Nancy's been a mentor to you. You guys have talked on the phone a lot. What messages has she given you?
She just said stay strong and just remember, you know, that we're all sisters in this game, you know, of basketball. And, you know, the point of it is to grow the game of women's basketball. All
right, congratulations. Have fun. Dave, she's ready to go.
All right, Tim, she'll be back in the game shortly. How about that shot by Essence Carson for 3 on the other end for the East team?
Dave, what I meant with Candace was to give me some of your skill and share the game of basketball. I could pass it on. But what I love about her is her family. Sarah and Larry, her mom and dad, are wonderful role models, and they really keep her grounded with all the success she's had at such a young level.
Ashevon misses there. Harper with a putback. The power forward, who's off to Maryland, will play for Brenda Freese, averaging a double-double at Cheltenham High School in Pennsylvania.
Well, I like her. I really like Laura Harper's game. She's really playing well. She had broke her hand, had it surgically repaired. She was just itching to get back and start playing ball.
Foul on Shantae Black. Doris Griffin, who's going to Texas Tech, where her mother played.
How cool is that? That's the next generation of women's basketball.
Harper and Crystal Langhorn both going to Maryland and both playing for the East squad here tonight.
It's absolutely amazing, and she's really going to help Brenda Freese at Maryland. Brenda doing a great job of taking that program to the NCAA tournament this year. And, you know, I got to give my teammate right here props. Tim McCormick, you are as quick as a point guard. You scooted over to the bench to do the interview, and you scooted back. You've redefined the big man position.
Well, I missed you guys. Glad to be back.
Well, he's 7 feet tall. He takes much longer strides than we do. It didn't take as long.
Isn't that nice? A true point guard setting up the big guy. It's a neat story though about you and Candace. We were talking earlier when she tore her ACL. You gave her a call. Can you share that story with us?
I take my position in basketball very seriously because I know I'm a mentor and a pioneer. And when she tore her ACL, we had never met each other. But I called some people and I said, could you please share Candace Parker's phone number with me? And they did. And I called her around Christmas and I said, hi, my name's Nancy Lieberman. I don't know if she knows who I am or not. It didn't matter to me. And we talked and she was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're calling me. And I said, look, you know, I just want you to know that I'm proud of you. I'm a fan. You'll get through this. You mean so much to the future of women's basketball. You know, Michael Jordan needed Julius Erving. Julius needed Elgin Baylor. You have to pass information on to each other. And I really try and reach out to a lot of the younger players because we need each other. You know, Ann Myers and Carol Blazejowski, Lynette Woodard, Cheryl Miller, we're all important in sharing the next level to the young players. And Candace and I it just hit home, and we bonded, and we had lunch in Chicago when I was doing a game in DePaul earlier this year. And I told them I weaseled my way into the Parker family.
Mike Patrick actually reached out to Dave Pash.
What do you see as the biggest difference, Nancy, in the girls' game now as opposed to 10, 15 years ago?
Golly, they're just so athletic. They're so ready for these opportunities. And it's not just 2 or 3 great players. It's 8, 9, 10, 11. But it's honestly, and I'm not a suck-up, but it's people like McDonald's, it's people like the next level that are giving us these opportunities.
A good start to the McDonald's All-American High School girls game here in Oklahoma City. The East squad leading the West by 2.
Nice Harley.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was gonna get one of those myself, but spent the $64.95 on a killer dinette set. It was tough, you know. It was Harley, dinette set, Harley, dinette set.
The all-new Sportster is here.
Went with a dinette set.
The bike you've always wanted starts at $64.95.
Tonight on ESPN at 7, the NIT Championship game. Rutgers battles Michigan. And at 9, college's best slammers and shooters. At 7:30 on ESPN2, the Stanley Cup preview show. Followed at 8 by Thursday night hockey. The Red Wings face off against the rival Blues. It's all on ESPN and ESPN2 tonight.
Hey kids ages 7 to 14, sign up now for the Mutual of Omaha Drive, Chip, and Putt Junior Challenge presented by the Golf Channel. It's free, and even if you've never played golf, we'll help you get your swing going. Winners may have a chance to compete in the national championship, so don't miss out on a free day of fun, prizes, and golf. Register now at thegolfchannel.com or the following locations. And we'll see you at the Mutual of Omaha Drive, Chip, and Putt Junior Challenge presented by the Golf Channel.
Food will be provided by McDonald's in Bristol, and drinks will be furnished by Coca-Cola.
Welcome to the family, Tom.
Thank you, Mrs. McNerney.
Oh, you can call me Pussy now.
Pussy?
You know, like a cat.
That plug won't fit in a European outlet.
I'll make it fit. Welcome to the honeymoon from hell! Your dad hates me.
That's not fair. Mom's never said a bad word about you.
Now I feel loved.
Candace Parker, one of 5 players in this game, headed to Tennessee to play for Pat Summitt. The East leading the West by 2 here in the McDonald's High School All-American girls game. There is the list of those headed to play for the Lady Vols.
I have heard so many people say that this might be the best recruiting class ever. And it's easy to throw those things out. You know, we certainly know what UConn, Gino Auriemma has done over there, but this is going to put Pat Summitt, Tennessee in good stead for years to come. And, you know, I was taking a look at the 2003 McDonald's All-Americans. 20 of the 24 from a year ago participated in the NCAA tournament that is currently going on right now. That's amazing.
And obviously, a lot of the girls in this year's game will be able to watch their teams in the Final Four. 3 players from LSU, a couple from Connecticut, and 5 from Tennessee.
Ultimately, the measuring stick will be how these players develop, and do they leave? Are they able to mesh all these talented players? But they certainly have some really good fundamental players here on this court.
Nifty move by White, couldn't get it to go. Tracked down by Lindsey Plummer.
Yes, you just left the Tennessee Regional. Can you share with us your pick on who you think's going to win it?
It's a very interesting year. I'm not trying to hedge your question here, but I had initially had UConn, Duke, Tennessee, Purdue in my pre-NCAA bracket. LSU just did a great job. I think they're working on a lot of emotion with Sue Gunner being sick and handing the team over to her assistant, Pokey Chapman. Nobody really thought Minnesota would get this far. Lindsay Whalen is a talent. They are by far the surprise of the tournament. But between her and Janelle McCarville, they are legitimate stars. The Big Ten is a monster conference. I think it's going to come down to Connecticut and Tennessee, and I'm going to let you guys pick it from there because they're both great programs.
And Waylon has been so much fun to watch in this tournament. She is so tough.
Well, she made a move the other night against Duke, a spin to the basket, which was just, it's as nice a move as I've seen in a long time. Off the dribble, a spin, away from the double team.
Shot clock violation.
Do you see the way that Candace Parker palms the ball? That is incredible. And as she was walking off the court, she was palming 2 balls, 1 in each hand with only 2 fingers, and she was showing off to you, Nancy.
Well, I'm a little bit of a hater, and I admit it. She was telling me, she goes, you know, Nancy, I can palm 2 balls with my fingers, and I held up my drink at the table and said, I can hold my drink up, Candace, with 2 fingers, and she just started to laugh at me.
As we watch this game materialize, it seems like the players a bit intimidated about the shot blockers.
Wiley Gatewood travels there.
See the turnover. I think that we're going to see a lot more jump shots later in the game.
I really like the way White plays. You know, everybody looks at how fast and flashy she is. She's also very fundamental. She really does use good attacking angles, and she gets up underneath you, you know, lowers quicker.
And she's a firecracker out there. She really is a fiery spark player.
Offensive rebound and put back by Crystal Langhorn, whose AAU team just won the national title last year, 2-time New Jersey Player of the Year. Off to Maryland. And White with the rebound off the Parker miss.
There you go. I was wondering if she saw Larkins running the floor, and she answered my question.
Larkins from North Palm Beach, Florida, had to North Carolina in the fall here in a starting position on her high school team as a 7th grader. Spent 6 years on her high school team.
That big girl, power forward, soft J, real nice handle.
Parker's second tip goes.
And she's about to get united with Ivory Lotta, the freshman point guard from North Carolina, who is something special. Reminds me a lot of Phil Ford and how he used to run his basketball team for Dean Smith.
Lottery. She won the Morgan Wooten Award last year here as the most valuable player, National Player of the Year.
Candace Parker with 4 points so far in the game gets fouled by Larkins.
See, if you're running up the floor anytime, keep your head up. Reward the big for running so hard. Isn't that right, Timmy?
That's exactly right. The guards ignore the big players way too much.
I know how you guys work. You expect to be fed if you're going to go to the glass.
I can tell you this, that if you get your big players involved, they'll rebound, they'll defend, they'll do a lot better job.
Marcilla Packer hits a 3. She's off to Ohio State. She was recruited very hard by Tennessee. Great friends with Candace Parker. I spoke with her mother yesterday in the gym. She said the reason she's going to Ohio State is because the family wants to go to all the games. She wants to be close to home. They're from Pinkerton, Ohio, which is a suburb of Columbus.
She's going to be playing for a great coach in Jim Foster. His team went to the NCAA tournament. They went to the semifinals of the Big Ten. He is exceptional.
You think it's a major statement that the 4 teams in the Final Four this year did not win their conference tournaments?
Isn't it amazing that you're right, the first time ever they're at large bids, and it just is showing you the parity in women's basketball. But then come crunch time, who's in the Final Four, right? Connecticut's going to the Final Four for an unprecedented 5 times in a row.
As Sylvia Fowles steps to the line, she's very well conditioned for such a big player. And I asked her, how did you get in such good shape? She said that every Saturday morning, she and her best friend run 5.5 miles at the Halova Beach down in Miami. Now that's unfair that anybody gets to condition that way. That would be awesome.
Well, it would be awesome, but you know, when you have won championships, and she not only won 1 championship, she won 1 when she was at Goldberg Preparatory School. She knows what the next level is. She knows she's going to have to play for Sue Gunner. Those guys are up and down at LSU. This is, you know, to me, it's a great way to show your coach what your work ethic is before you get to the institution.
Humphrey with the offensive rebound. Fires it up and gets the roll.
That's some power right there.
Did you say Barkley or Humphrey?
Well, you mentioned, Tim, the other day that she kind of reminded you of Charles Barkley.
It's a power thing, but the underrated part of Charles Barkley's game, and I think the same thing with Humphrey, is that everybody looks at the body and sees the power, but there's a great footwork. She's very active. She's very strong, and she's surrounded by 4 players. She's the one that wanted it the most.
And I think that's really the next level, is that these, like you said, she's a strong power forward, but she is capable of stepping out. She does have a mid-range jumper, and these guys are now being able to shoot the 3. I mean, what's next? The dunk is next, and there's like 5 or 6 of these players who can already dunk.
Nancy, do you think that 10 years from now we'll have a McDonald's All-American girls dunking contest?
Absolutely. I think it'll happen before that. There, in the WNBA, there's a bunch of players that can dunk. You know, Lisa Leslie did it in the game. You are seeing it at the collegiate level, and now you're seeing it at the high school level.
Juanisha Smith, who's off to Duke, gets the basket for the E squad, which now leads by 8.
Tim, I think the next level of the dunk is not just the dunk, but it's throwing it on someone.
The amazing thing about the dunk contest that Candace Parker won, the guys were trying impossible dunks. She did stuff that she could handle, and that's the reason that she won.
And I think you're right with that. The rules, and I read it, and I went to Old Dominion, which is accredited, and I read the rules, and it said you actually have to make the dunk. If it ricochets off the rim to half court, no matter how good it looks, you ain't gonna win.
Well, I'm sure you'll agree with me. Ladies are smarter than guys.
I like that.
Sharday Houston going to UConn with points 3 and 4 on that putback for the West squad.
Is Diana Taurasi not the bomb?
Oh,
she is amazing.
She is, I don't see any flaws in her game.
Gonna be tough to replace her.
Yes, it is. Mel Thomas is gonna step up.
Tasha Humphrey, who's off to Georgia. Her mom's an assistant coach there. Muscles one up and in for the E squad.
Everywhere tomorrow.
Gervin down low. Gervin takes a shot. Good. 33. Moses. Shoot it, Moses. He made it.
David Robinson with authority.
It all comes down to this. Holy Toledo.
Everywhere tomorrow.
Douglas Baker has always been reasonably happy with his choice of hairstyle. But recently, Douglas switched to Progressive Auto Insurance. And if they can shake things up by letting you compare competitors' rates and over 20 other facts and figures, then perhaps he too should step up to the plate. Way to go, Douglas. Think easier. Think Progressive. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Welcome back to the McDonald's High School All-American Girls game. The East leading the West by 6. The girls lit it up the other night in a three-point shooting contest and having success so far in the McDonald's All-American game.
And the amazing thing about the three-point contest, the boys made 10 in their first round shots. The girls made 15. And I said this last year, the girls are better three-point shooters for 2 reasons. They work harder, and number 2, they shoot a set shot, which is a lot more consistent.
Well, anytime you can set your feet with elevation, there's different levels of elevation, so you never know if you're changing the shot at the top. But you're right, girls do set their feet.
Travel by Sharday Houston, who's off to Connecticut. She's the leading scorer so far for the West team with 6 points. Tasha Humphrey is the leading scorer. You saw her just there, 32 in red.
Looks like he's not lifting weights like he used to, right?
Needs to eat more Big Macs.
He doesn't. He said he is redefining who Ronald McDonald should be in this game.
Do they have a low-carb McDonald's menu? If they do, he's definitely on it.
They used to say, Ronald, do fries go with that shake? And now they just go, Ronald, you've lost some weight, buddy.
Well, he's tall. That's the tallest Ronald I've ever seen. He looks like he's about 6'5".
He almost looks, you know, if maybe we can get that back, he almost looks a little bit like McCormick there. He take off the wig.
No, he was taunting Tim. I saw that.
A little trash talking.
See? A little bit. Take off the hair.
M from McCormick.
That is too funny. I can't believe you lent him your lipstick.
I thought that was our little secret. These players are very good off the dribble. As I say that, it gets stripped, but the key element is that they dribble right and left-handed so well.
There's Matee Ajivan, who has overcome just a horrible story. She has on her headband there the name Shani. And Shani is Shani Baraka, who is an assistant coach at her high school in Newark, New Jersey, who was murdered last summer in August. And Matee is dedicating this season in her career to Shani. And there, Ajivan gets a basket, pushed the lead back to 8.
And Vivian Stringer's backcourt appears set for the next 4 years with Essence Carson and Matee.
She's going to be able to step in and learn from the All-American Cappy Pondexter, who has 1 more year. And if anybody understands tragedy, it's Vivian Stringer. Her husband passed away unexpectedly years ago of a heart attack. Her daughter's been in a wheelchair for years. Her son's had problems. Stringer is just one of the most gifted, caring coaches I've ever been around.
Well, Ajivan's going to a great place.
She's a Hall of Famer, but she's a legend as a woman.
Nancy, would you ever want to be a college coach?
I wouldn't mind teaching the game. I love to share the game of basketball. A lot of kids, WNBA kids, come through Dallas, and I work with them, kind of like what Chris Carter does with the football guys down in Florida. I'm real big on conditioning, like I did with Martina Navratilova. And obviously, when I played at 38 in the WNBA and the oldest player of the inaugural season, the conditioning was very important. Did I answer the question?
Absolutely. You said yes.
I would, because I love the game.
Ajivan with the basketball. Mel Thomas, who's going to Connecticut, is guarding her. Fouled in the play is Shante Black. Wiggins commits the foul. Black is going to Duke. She'll likely play center next year for Gail Gestencourt.
Probably not starting right away. She's a stopper on defense, really good shot blocker.
Well, you're looking at a player that you mentioned, a shot blocker, but she also runs the floor really well. She's very good back to the basket, as she just showed with that pin. But to go to Duke, it helps to be an honor student, and she is an honor student.
2 points for Black, who averaged 20 points and 14.5 rebounds. You know, you guys talked earlier about assists. Black averaged 4 assists, which is great for a 6'5" center.
Impressive. With Elena Beard graduating in Taurasi, who do you take #1?
I think that Taurasi is the first pick. I think Beard is the second pick. I believe Lindsay Whalen will be the 3rd pick. I think Vanessa Hayden from Florida will be the 4th pick. Then you've got Nicole Powell, Kelly Mazzanti, the all-time leading scorer in the Big Ten. There's Tandy Jones from Houston, Christy Thomas, the big post from Georgia. I think the first round will be exceptional, but I think after that it'll kind of be tough pickings.
I have had a chance to watch Vanessa Hayden at the Albuquerque Regional, and I was really impressed at how big she is. Her hands are huge. Wingspan, the conditioning's getting better. I think she's going to be an outstanding player.
We see the strength again by Tasha Humphrey as she rips that ball away. The East leading by 13 points over the West late in the first half. Tasha Humphrey playing physical basketball for the East squad.
Everybody loves a lush green lawn. Now there's a better way to get it. Bayer Advanced Triple Action Lawn Fertilizers are formulated to work at every level, feeding the grass, the roots, plus fortifying the soil for a thicker, deep-down green that lasts longer and a lawn everyone will love. From Bayer Advanced, better thinking, better results. Available at Lowe's and other garden retailers.
If you're unaware of your credit history, you may be paying higher interest than you should. You could be denied the house of your dreams. You could even live the nightmare of identity theft. Now you can see for yourself if your credit history is accurate at TrueCredit.com. Log on now to find out what type of credit product is right for you and how you can protect yourself from identity theft. Order our special TV offer online now and get absolutely free your credit score, weekly fraud alert emails for a year, and this helpful guide to managing your credit. It's from TransUnion, so you know it's secure. Life's full of obstacles. You've just got to know where they are. So go to TrueCredit.com. True Credit. Manage your credit. Manage your life.
East leading the West by 13 in the McDonald's High School All-America girls game. Coming up, the Final Four in women's basketball. Sunday, it's LSU and Tennessee, followed by Minnesota, Connecticut. Only one #1 seed remains. Big pass to McCormick, Nancy Lieberman. Nancy, who has the best possibility in upset, LSU or Minnesota?
Well, I think the fact that LSU is so familiar with Tennessee, there are no secrets. That's a game that could go either way. Although I think Tennessee is much bigger, they have to match up on the inside. But Simone Augustus has taken her game to another level. Now, conversely, I don't think that Gino Auriemma knows that much. Certainly they're going to break down film and they're going to scout, but I don't think they've really ever played Minnesota. So, like you were talking with boxers and sparring, it might take a little bit of time to find some comfortability.
I would have expected Minnesota to be more intimidated. I would have thought going against Duke that their eyes would have been bright and they wouldn't have played so well. I think that they have a good chance for an upset because they have a team that is fearless.
You make a great point because I felt like Duke was playing not to lose because they were supposed to get to the Final Four for the 3rd consecutive year. And there was so much pressure on their senior class.
Candace Parker missing the short one. She had 2 blocks on the other end on the previous possession for the East team. So Parker's got 3 or 4 blocks in the game. Here's Harper. She gets the roll.
Beautiful body control. Wow.
Yeah, she and Candace Parker are very, very good friends. I really think her stock is on the rise. She's worked very hard at USA Basketball with that developmental program, their festival. And a lot of these gals are getting a chance to play internationally now with the development from USA Basketball with their festivals.
Harper with 5 points, tried to save it there after Langhorne tried to hit her.
You really get the sense that the players are somewhat frustrated. They play during the year with so much structure. They're comfortable with where they're passing the ball, when to give it up. But when you have 10 players running in transition, those are the kind of cases where you're better off pulling up and just working it around.
And I think that's an example of what you're saying right there, because Wiley Gatewood was hoping after the pick that I think it was Parker would roll to the basket, and she didn't. And that's just, you don't know each other that well, but they will get it right at Tennessee, or Miss Summit will discuss it.
Parker with another block, but she gets called for a foul. Well, Thursday night, a week of madness presented by Harley-Davidson continues with the NIT Championship game at 7 Eastern on ESPN, Rutgers and Michigan. And then the college slam dunk and three-point contest at 9 Eastern. All part of a week of madness presented by Harley-Davidson on ESPN. And that's coming up tonight.
Dave, I keep thinking of what Tim said about Candace Parker using her left leg, the surgically repaired leg, to use that in the slam dunk or to make her moves. And she doesn't seem to have any fear of that. And there's somebody behind that, and that would be Joe Bresingham, and that's her physical therapist, because players can't get back without people like that. And he put a lot of time and effort into making sure she was ready. And obviously, we get a chance to see the end result.
It's such a great development as they get better with their techniques, because torn ACLs, as you see a beautiful double team on the baseline, torn ACLs is a huge part of the ladies' game.
Well, it's how our body is structured, and unfortunately, it's taken Sue Bird and Tamika Catchings, Candace Parker, on and on and on out of our game.
Alexis Hornbuckle with 4 points after hitting that jumper, and here comes Candace Parker. They try to contest the shot so she couldn't get up for the dunk. Sissy Pierce, who's going to Stanford, follows it up.
Yeah, but the fact that Candace Parker actually tried the dunk just says so much about her confidence.
I would have liked to have seen the dunk, but they tried to get in there and strip the ball, and Parker just couldn't get enough air. And was short with a dunk attempt, but Pierce was there with the follow.
Watch this. This just shows you that this is a competitive game. They might like Candace, but you ain't gonna dunk on me and make me a poster that's hanging in McDonald's somewhere.
That was Alexis Hornbuckle, who will join Parker at Tennessee next year. Hornbuckle has led different high schools, 2 of them, to state titles in West Virginia. And when she transferred to South Charleston High School, Hornbuckle won the championship with a team that had just 4 wins the year before.
It just shows you the impact that she can have on a basketball program. She can sing, she can dance, she's outgoing, but she can play.
Parker fouled by Larkins. Candace Parker, first junior to win the Naismith Player of the Year award, will go to the line. And obviously, Nancy, we've been able to see the skills beyond the ability to dunk so far in this game.
I'm very impressed not only, with Candace, but we could walk down the list of players and give you a scouting report on she drop steps. She's a slasher. She likes to pull up and shoot the jump shot. She can step outside. I mean, it's just so impressive. It's not one-dimensional. They're multifaceted.
Has a nice stroke from the foul line as well. 6 points now for Candace Parker to go along with 3 rebounds and 3 blocks. And time running down in the first half. 10 seconds to play. And a jump ball. It will go to the West with 8.6 on the clock. Wiley Gatewood and Carson getting tied up. Wiley Gatewood's father, Jerry, is the guru on women's basketball. He runs a scouting service for women's hoops.
Well, he is a plethora of information. To steal a word from my friend Mark Jones, I learned more about the players from Jerry. He knows it all.
3 won't go from Fuller as the buzzer sounds. Candace Parker did not disappoint. Neither did the East team, leading by 17 points at the break, 39-22. What'd you think, Nance, from what you saw there in the first half?
I was very impressed with the athleticism, getting up and down. You'll get a chance to see a feature on Candace, and I heard Ronald McDonald House was pretty special, and I'm looking forward to the highlights.
Yep, first half highlights coming up as well. First, though, we check in with Tim McCormick, who's with Sylvia Fowles.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Sylvia, you guys did some good work out there. What were your thoughts of the first half?
The first half, we came out to a little rough start. We was down for a little bit, but when we got to the sideline, we talked it over, pick it up. I mean, let's go. The West won 2 years in a row. East trying to do something big. I mean, we just trying to go out there and work hard. Everybody out there doing their role, and we just out here to play, having fun, but we're going to come out with a win.
All right, Sylvia, everybody's hyped about Candace Parker's win in the dunk contest, but a lot of people thought you should have been the one in the dunk contest. You dunked in a game as a freshman, And you also had a special dunk you've been working on. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I've been working on the 360. I mean, I've been working for about a good couple of months. I mean, it happened like a good 5 times, and it's getting there, but I'm working on it. It's gonna happen.
Good luck, Sylvia. Maybe you get a dunk for us in the second half, all right?
All right.
All right, back to you.
All right, Tim, thanks. Sylvia Fowles, who you can see not much shorter than the 7-footer, Tim McCormick. Well, we've told you a lot about Candace Parker, but you'll learn more about the Morgan Wood National Player of the Year when we come back to the high school All-America game.
Hey, how are you? Hi, ladies. Oh, no. Who is he? What? Oh, come on. You're glowing.
You're in love.
I am not.
Does he have a friend?
Trust me, there's no guy.
Oh, whatever. Look at that smile.
It's not love. It's New Crest White Strips Premium, clinically proven to take off up to 14 years in just 7 days for a smile you'll love.
So how is your love life?
New Crest White Strips Premium, irresistibly white, irresistibly beautiful.
Discover the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school in an exciting instructional video. Baseball World's Defensive Drills video features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky and the same techniques that produced his back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Collegiate Baseball Magazine's editor calls it a masterpiece, the best drill video ever produced. This video is endorsed by top professionals like superstar Fred McGriff.
This is the instructional video that gets results.
The Defensive Drills video benefits players of all ages and ability levels and makes a great gift too, so call now.
Women's college basketball's best meet in New Orleans for the Final Four. Coverage begins at 6:30 with LSU versus Tennessee, followed at 9 by Minnesota versus Connecticut. Sunday on ESPN.
I'm feeling like Mr. Lucky today. Things seem to be going my way.
On my way to meet Angelique down at Sophisticated Auto, my co-host. And they even sent a driver for me.
To the Otter?
When we get there, there's this huge crowd out front to welcome me to the show. So my driver pulls in front of this huge white car.
Okay, pal, into the line.
Thanks for the ride, bud. Wow, all this from me? It was great. You could just feel the love, everybody there like celebrating my return.
So you think you know sports returns with Angelique Lupo and Jared Bentley.
Hey, guys, the door. Hey, the
39-22, the East leading by 17 points at the half. Candace Parker from Naperville, Illinois, who is going to Tennessee, had 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 blocks in the first half. Let's learn more about her now.
When I think of Candace, really the first thing I think of is her athleticism and her grace and the way she makes something incredibly difficult look so easy.
Making things look easy is something Candace Parker has been doing her whole life. Whether it's her 3.59 grade point average or her back-to-back state titles, Candace is a true leader.
It wouldn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that she's the best player we've ever had. But this is my 16th year as the basketball coach, and she loves the game more than anybody we've ever had.
The game just brings excitement, you know, and it just is a feeling that I really can't describe. It's like I'm hungry all the time to play the game of basketball.
And that hunger has fueled a work ethic second to none.
Candace is the first one to the gym and the last one to leave, and she loves the game, and she understands that the opponent is the game.
Basketball is definitely in Candace Parker's blood. With a brother playing professionally and a father who doubles as her AAU coach. She's learned a lot growing up.
As a child, I witnessed numerous arguments with my brother and my father and my mother after games. So the 24 hours president rule is important. And it's basically you can't talk about a game or discuss a game until it's been a day. and then you have a better perspective.
Perspective is something Candace Parker definitely is not lacking.
I'm really excited to be involved with the McDonald's All-American game because it does give back to charity. I mean, you know, as athletes, we're involved with game and we're so, you know, wrapped up in the game of basketball, and we sometimes forget that, you know, there's other things that go on in life.
Two-time state champion, two-time Miss Basketball of Illinois, Naismith Player of the Year, and now the Morgan Wooten Award. So, what's her secret?
Something about Candace that no one really knows. She is very superstitious. I mean, she has to have, I mean, on the way to the game, she has to go the same route to the game, every game.
I have to have my finger band, have to do the same rituals before games. It's really ridiculous.
While the immediate future has those superstitions heading to Tennessee, Candace still keeps the big picture in focus.
20 years from now, I want to look back and I want to say that I was the best person that I possibly could be.
So 6 points for Candace Parker, a great player, and also pretty special off the floor as well. Let's check in now with the third member of our crew, Tim McCormick, who's with a special guest.
Thanks a lot, Dave. I'm with Marty Coyne, who's the vice president at the Ronald McDonald's House. Talking to the girls, their favorite thing all week was their visit to the Ronald McDonald House. Can you share what exactly they went through on their visit?
When they visited the families at the Ronald McDonald House, the families were totally excited. You got to remember, these families are going through a tough time. Their child is sick, and they're away from home, and they just need a little help so they can cope with their problems. When the girls visited the houses, they were all excited. They had autographs, and they just played with the families. They helped them along so they can visit their kids in the hospital that evening.
Marty, can you share with us how beneficial this week has been for the Ronald McDonald House?
The McDonald's All-American Basketball will raise over $300,000 for our Oklahoma City and Tulsa chapters. I would like to thank the McDonald's Corporation and its 2,500 McDonald's owner-operators for the support. This is the 30th anniversary of the first Ronald McDonald House, and we've seen over 10 million families since that day.
What were your thoughts in the first half? A lot of fun, wasn't it?
A lot of fun, and it's great watching Candace Parker.
All right. Thanks a lot for your help, Marty, and Dave, back to you.
All right, Tim, and the boys visited the Ronald McDonald House earlier this week. That story when we returned to Oklahoma City. Alexis Hornbuckle with an outstanding first half for the East squad, which has a healthy lead over the West at halftime of the McDonald's High School All-American Girls game in Oklahoma City.
Baseball is back. It's opening night on ESPN2. After a bitter ending to last year's season, Pedro Martinez has Boston recharged for another pennant run. Opening night presented by the Home Depot. Sunday at 8 on ESPN2.
My friends and enemies, 20. 20 in the house right now!
Parker, the power.
Introducing the new Nike 20 collection. Nowhere but Champ Sports.
Going fishing?
Yeah, in the basement. That's it. I've got to do something about this water seepage.
Tired of living with a drab, wet basement? You don't have to with Drylock Masonry Waterproofer. Drylock penetrates the pores and expands as it dries to form a tough, waterproof barrier.
I can't believe this is your basement. Drylock really got rid of your water problem. Yeah, now if we could just get rid of that fish.
Drylock, it's guaranteed to stop water.
Welcome to the wireless age. Got your HP Pavilion ZT3020 notebook PC featuring Intel Centrino mobile technology. Your HP camera and wireless printer. Setting it up was easy, right, Techno Boy? Because you went to CompUSA for that state-of-the-art HP engineering. Then CompUSA came over, set it up, and trained you for free. Who else gives you so much attention? CompUSA, unmatched.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm. Call now and learn how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's data bank and apply for a patent. Even if your idea is just to improve an existing product, call for ISC's free information.
For your inventors information, call 1-800-652-0101.
It's halftime in the McDonald's All-American High School Girls game here at the Ford Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The McDonald's All-America game is much more than basketball. Just ask Player of the Year Candace Parker, who toured the Tulsa Ronald McDonald House along with her teammates earlier in the week. Girls from the East Squad spent time at the Oklahoma City Ronald McDonald House and Children's Hospital, getting a chance to see firsthand some of the people they are helping. Net proceeds from today's game will benefit Ronald McDonald House Charities of Oklahoma. Since the game began in 1978, more than $3 million has been raised. We're at halftime, and our first half highlight to the girls' game follows this.
Video is my thing. I'm always looking for all the action. Finding the right moments, the right shot, the best angle. I need something to capture my attention. I need the right motivation. Hey, how can I not get inspired with these new Chicken McNuggets from McDonald's? Now made with white meat, they're so good it's hard for me to stay focused. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Spin, spin, spin the globe. It's your turn to spin the globe. Spin it, spin it, spin it.
All around the world, Siemens helps companies prosper by providing them with systems and controls that assure quality regardless of quantity. Whatever the product, wherever consumers consume, we want to help them savor life better.
Spin, spin, spin the globe. It's your turn to spin the globe.
You do something to me, something that simply mystifies me. Let me live neath your spell. You do that voodoo that you do so well.
At the heart of the most extraordinary places, you'll find the most extraordinary hotels, Renaissance hotels and resorts.
Yes! Fantasy baseball champion!
Attention, you are all losers.
In a sign of victory! Victory over all! All!
Hey, boss, you're a loser.
ESPN Fantasy Baseball. Our players take it very seriously. Create or join a league at espn.com/fantasy.
Welcome back to the 2004 McDonald's All-American High School Girls Basketball game. The East leading by 17 at halftime. Dave Pash alongside Tim McCormick and Nancy Lieberman. Guys, who and what stood out to you in the first half?
Well, the balance for the East was just phenomenal. They had 11 score. All 12 of them grabbed at least one rebound. I think that was the biggest story.
I think for the West, when you look for offense, you're looking at Parker, you're looking at Houston. Those guys were 4 of 18. They only combined for 58 points a game in high school and only 12 in the McDonald's All-American game thus far.
So Parker had 6 points and 2 for 9 shooting, but still was impressive in other areas. And she started the game on a positive note, getting a nice feed from Wiley Gatewood.
I think that the shot blocking for the East was a major factor. They only blocked 2, but they intimidated many others. And 9 steals for the East was phenomenal.
Sharday Houston with 6 points, 4 rebounds in the first half. And Rolanda Larkins led the way for the East squad in that opening half.
Representing Florida on that play, but you can see which conferences are about to get richer right now with talent, and the SEC is filling it up.
9 players going to the SEC, the number in parentheses, the number of players headed to that conference, and then the points to the right of it. And 5 players headed to Tennessee, and they combined for 13 points in the first half.
It's pretty bad when they get their own column. But you know what? The West is much smaller than the East, because I was on the team bus this morning, and the West was complaining, how come we have all the shorter players? So, you know what? East doing a nice job of at least going down low a little bit more often than the smaller West team.
And if you look at the best depth, I really am impressed with the wing players. These teams are loaded, with players that can put the ball on the floor, a nice balance to their game because they can make threes as well.
Isn't this the era of multitasking?
Yeah.
This is what you have to have on your highlight tape or in your resume when schools are looking for you. I can do a lot of things.
Just not while driving.
Exactly, or with a cell phone in your ear.
The three won't go for Ajivon. Larkins is fouled by Houston. Larkins will go back to the line.
One of the smartest plays in basketball is the offensive rebound. You don't get a lot of hype from it, but you have to understand that in a game like this, there's going to be a lot of missed shots because of the anxiety, the unfamiliar setting. So if they're not going to give you the ball in the offense, just go get it. There's a lot of points available on the offensive glass.
Really wonderfully put, because it sounds so simple, but it's so true. It's just about working for something you want.
As a coach, don't you go crazy when your players are saying, I'm not getting enough shots? Well, go get it.
And it's hard to box out somebody that is moving. And you know, at the next level, it doesn't matter where you go, what conference we've shown you, you're going to have to work hard to box out.
You mentioned the next level, Nancy. Do you think that with the onslaught of boys going directly to the NBA, do you think that we will see girls going to the WNBA from high school?
No, I really don't, because in the NBA, kids are going because of money. In the WNBA, I don't see girls going for $50,000 or $48,000. When you're thinking about, you know, $100 million, it sort of influences your decisions.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Wanisha Smith misses the shot. We talked earlier, guys, about Larkins going to North Carolina. How about what happened to UNC in the NCAA tournament, losing in the first round at Middle Tennessee State? Seems like we see more and more upsets every year now in the women's tournament, very similar to what we see in the men's tournament on a regular basis.
Well, this is pushing tempo right here. See, nice play behind the back, squares her shoulders up to the basket, and you got that little gooseneck on the follow-through. She saw that on, like, a commercial somewhere, some Reebok commercial.
She's a street baller under control. You wouldn't have seen that play 10 years ago, though.
Now, I spent a lot of time in Rutgers Park in New York with street ball because I'm from there, and the stuff that these players are inventing is absolutely imaginative is the only word. I mean, I would have never thought you could do that with a ball.
I remember as a kid, coaches would freak out if you would try to spin dribble. Now, all of a sudden, the tricks that they do, you're absolutely right. It's incredible.
Yeah, they used to think that Archie Talley, when he played at Winston-Salem State, was, you know, he was like that really the first coming of Earl Monroe.
Erica White, who's going to LSU with the basket. 5 points now for White. She's the smallest player in the game, 5 feet 4 inches. 3 won't go for Plummer. And a foul as Cheney tried to get the rebound. Plummer going to UCLA. She will team up with Pac-10 Freshman of the Year, Noelle Quinn, as you look at Erica White from Jacksonville, Florida.
Don't you think that if the West is going to come back, it's got to be Houston that really puts the team on her back? When you look at her numbers, absolutely incredible that she has scored 400 more points in California than Cheryl Miller.
Okay, what we're really, I want to put that in perspective. There's breaking somebody's record, or there's blowing it out of the water. And she shattered it by over 400 points. Look at the range that they have when they shoot.
Griffin with the follow. She's off to Texas Tech. We'll team up with Alicia Robertson, who led Texas Tech in scoring. She's just going to be a sophomore next year, so they should have a good team down there for Marcia Sharp.
Marcia Sharp is such a wonderful teacher of basketball. Her assistants, they had a lot of injuries this year. Anytime, you know, you lose Kirsty Greenwald to a broken ankle. Gia Perkins, your best player, on medical leave. It was a rough go.
Hey, Tim, as you watch these big players like Fowles and Parker, are their fundamentals better than some of the big men that you've had a chance to work with and watch over the years?
Well, I agree with that point that the number one thing that jumps out at me, Dave, is the way they keep the ball nice and high. A lot of the guys, they bring it down around their ankles and their knees to explode off the court. The girl players are much more fundamental. And it's also been so much fun to watch the enjoyment that they're having. Watch this bounce up top.
That is just so nice. You bring the defender up. Larkin shows the palm. If you're a passer and you see your teammate's palm, if you can see the sight line, throw the pass.
Lock and lob. I was saying how much fun they were having. You know, the ladies went to McDonald's with the boys for lunch 2 days ago, and they had so much fun. They jumped behind the counter. Candace Parker showed her versatility. She was handling the drive-in window, asking people if they want a supersize, if they want fries with that, and then the girls all started singing the McDonald's song, and they had a hip-hop version and a country western version.
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
It's pretty bad when Usher is taken off the charts and the jingle for McDonald's is on the charts. But, you know, Candace has so much personality. And every time I'm around her and talk to her, I'm so impressed by her humility. And when she was rehabbing, she had her brother Marcus, who's 25. He goes to Johns Hopkins Medical School, and he's going to graduate in May. He came back. He came back to Naperville. They worked out Christmas Day to 1 o'clock in the morning, and he pretty much gave Mom and Dad the okay. You know what? She's ready to play. I think we should put her out there. It's really a cool family.
Yeah, 3.5 GPA. Once again, she's the player of the year for the second straight time.
Candace Parker, who won the slam dunk contest the other night. 8 points so far in the game for the West squad.
Her friends betrayed her and left her for dead.
Well, I wasn't.
On April 16th,
I've killed a hell of a lot of people to get to this point.
the bride is back
I'm the deadliest woman in the world.
and has taken a solemn vow.
I am gonna kill Bill. You and I have unfinished business.
You ain't kidding. Rated R in theaters April 16th.
Meets the present. Introducing the new Nike 20 collection. Nowhere but Foot Locker.
You're not gonna get the ball back unless you rebound, right? And you're gonna get a rebound unless you box out. You gotta box out. Remember how I showed you? You hold your position with your arms out, right? Get that right there. It's all about the pivot foot. It's all about the pivot, moving to the left, to the right, okay? And keeping your eyes on the ball at all times. That's what it's all about, right? That's how you play defense, okay? All right, D up. 24-0, my ball, okay? I'm winning.
The thick burgers can't be as good as they say. Come on.
No one's ever gonna try those burgers.
Hardee's will probably always be bad. And there's no way Hardee's can make a good burger.
All fast food burgers are the same.
Hardee's should just stick to biscuits.
Nobody's ever gonna like anything Hardee's makes.
Hardee's Thick Burgers with 100% Angus beef. It's how the last place you'd go for a burger is becoming the first.
College baseball is in full swing on CSS. Catch diamond action from two of the nation's premier conferences all week long, featuring the best matchups from the SEC and the ACC. CSS puts you in the batter's box for a full lineup of regular season games, plus postseason conference and NCAA tournament action. Follow your favorite teams each week, including Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, Clemson, and Georgia Tech. The South's best baseball is on CSS, your source for Southeast sports, available only on cable.
Now, many people recognize the name Candace Parker after winning the slam dunk contest 2 nights ago, and some will remember the name Wiggins. Candace, who is the daughter of the late Alan Wiggins, former baseball player. She's the San Diego County Player of the Year the last 2 seasons.
And the amazing thing about her, they say she's a better volleyball player. Maybe she'll play both sports at Stanford. But I remember a couple years ago, Outside the Lines on ESPN did a special on Alan Wiggins and Candace, and they talked about her perseverance, handling a real tough situation and doing so well with it.
She tore her ACL last July and then came back in December and led her team to the state title.
Well, she's a pretty special player. We talked about what Houston has done in blowing away Cheryl Miller's record. She's the third all-time leading scorer in California history. That's pretty good company to be with.
Favorite players, Nicole Powell, who just played her last game for Stanford the other night. Almost hit the game-winning shot for the Cardinal.
Not a bad role model. Nicole Powell is better than advertised.
I had a chance to see her in Tempe in the first 2 rounds, and she just took over that second-round game against Oklahoma and was unstoppable.
Kind of nice when you can play the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament in your home state and have all that fan support.
The Arizona Republic named Nicole Powell the greatest women's basketball player in the history of the state. As Parker collides with Humphrey, both players seem to be all right.
I had one of the scouts tell me that they thought that this was the deepest class that they've seen in the last 15 years. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. The level of talent and how diversified they are by position is the thing that strikes me. It doesn't matter if you're 6'3" or 6'4", you can still step out. Look at that. I mean, shots like that, you used to see guards doing that, you know, not bigs coming in the lane.
He mentioned that in the class of Susie McConnell-Serio and Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Miller, yourself, that she thinks that Candace is the best high school player that they've ever seen.
Hey, what, she very well could be, because she's long, she's lanky, she does so much. I mean, how can you say that she's not? I mean, it's hard to compare errors.
Well, tonight, a week of madness presented by Harley-Davidson continues with the NIT title game, Rutgers in Michigan at 7 Eastern, followed by the College Slam Dunk and three-point contest. That's tonight over on ESPN.
Look out for those Wolverines coming on.
And how about Rutgers? That's kind of a pseudo home game for a team that just can't win on the road, but beats anybody, whether it's in Jersey or New York, they win.
That'll be an interesting game to see who has the better crowd. There are so many Michigan alumni in the New York area. Rutgers will travel well.
About time something good happens for Tommy Amaker. He's really a nice guy and a tremendous coach.
You see Michigan, Tim, as a power in the Big Ten next year.
Not a power, but moving up, and I see them as an NCAA team.
Parker doesn't get the roll. She struggled from the floor tonight. Humphrey looking to push the pace. Great feed.
Sort of hard to tell who is the clear-cut MVP in this game so far.
It really is, but I have to tell you, that's just a nice play to draw the defense, clear a lane, and then attack the glass. Pierce, that's good to the basket. Sissy Pierce from Littleton, Colorado. She's one of the 2 kids that are going to Stanford with Candace Wiggins. I like it. She's got handle, she's got good hands, she's athletic, and now we know she can finish.
And you would think that being out of Colorado that she's somewhat under the radar screen. They may be getting a player that's a lot better than the scouting services give her credit for.
Look at this right here. This is really nice. See how she drew? You put it right under the arms of the defender. You know, when you're watching hockey and they shoot the puck right by the side of your face or under your arms, you just can't react and get your arm up or down that quick.
Hornbuckle might be the leading candidate for MVP in this game so far. She's got 7 points. She's off to Tennessee, averaging 25 points, 17 rebounds, 7 assists as a senior in high school.
Yeah, and a lot of people consider her the #2 player in this class behind Hornbuckle. I'm sorry, behind Candace Parker.
Here's Hornbuckle for 3. 10 points now for Alexis Hornbuckle.
She heard you. She heard you. You know, she played in the Boo Williams tournament. A lot of the great high school kids playing that. She played with Tasha Humphreys, with Parker, and they defeated her future teammate, Sade Wiley Gatewood's team in that tournament.
From the corner, Wiley Gatewood answering for 3. She won the three-point shooting contest on Tuesday night.
Dave, it's pretty cool when you're a kid in high school and you go 33-0. You win a national championship as a sophomore, 119-7 in her high school career.
Incredible.
It is.
She's spoiled.
She's about to get more spoiled at Tennessee. She better find a lot to go at Orange.
Wiley Gatewood trying for 2 in a row. Laura Harper is going to Maryland with the rebound. Hornbuckle trying the baseball pass. And man, we've seen a lot of players collide with Tasha Humphrey. Humphrey remains standing. Alexis Hornbuckle lighting it up. She's off to Tennessee in the fall. East by 20.
Women's college basketball's best meet in New Orleans for the Final Four. Coverage begins at 6:30 with LSU versus Tennessee, Minnesota versus Connecticut at 9, Sunday on ESPN.
Diane Keaton, Keanu Reeves, Frances McDormand, Amanda Peet in the year's most unexpected comedy. Something's Gotta Give, a Nancy Myers film. Get it on VHS and DVD.
Orlando Resort, a vacation from the ordinary. Fairy tales and pixie dust not quite your thing? Log on to universalorlando.com for a vacation package that'll blow your mind.
East by 20. Sade Wiley Gatewood knocked down a 3 before we went to break. And you can see why Pat Summitt wanted her at an early age. Wiley Gatewood committed to Tennessee as a 9th grader. She was terrific at the Powerade Jam Fest, winning the 3-point shooting contest for the girls.
Well, it must be because her hair was down. They nicknamed her Goofy because she wears her hair in pigtails all the time. And, of course, she nicknamed her friend Candace Parker Olive Oil. She goes, I think I'd like another nickname than Olive Oil.
They're the winners for the Powerade Jam Fest, including the boys' 3-point shot victor, Darius Washington Jr. Candace Parker, of course, everybody knows by now, unless your television's been broken, that she won the slam dunk contest.
When I think of Powerade right now, I think of the great commercial right now with LeBron James. Isn't that awesome?
A lot of people now are calling Candace Parker She-Bron. That's her new nickname. Houston goes to the hole. Blocking foul is called on Anasticki. Let's check in now with Tim McCormick, who's with a special guest.
Thanks, Dave. I'm here with Morgan Wooten, the great coach from DeMatha, currently the chairman of the selection committee. Coach, as you watch the evolution of the women's game, you must be so proud of what you see out here.
Well, no question. Every year the girls seem to get bigger and stronger and faster and really more skilled. And the level of girls basketball is just on the way up where it's become mind-boggling, really.
Last night at the banquet, Candace Parker won the Morgan Wooten Award for the National Player of the Year. What are some of your thoughts seeing her play live?
She obviously is a great player. She hadn't had a lot of luck on her shot today, but she plays well at the ball. She's very aggressive. She's got great quickness for a big girl, and she gets off the board well. She's going to be a superstar.
At DeMatha, you coached a very fundamental style. Seems like the boys are getting away from that. It must give you great pleasure to see these ladies play the game that you teach for your entire career.
Well, there's no question that they seem to play together a little bit better. It's not the one-on-one you see all the time. They'll get the ball reversed. They'll look inside. They make the extra pass. It makes it fun to watch.
Coach, thanks for your time. And Dave, always nice to talk to a living legend.
He is that, Morgan Wooten, with just a terrific resume. And nice of him to stop by and chat with us here during the McDonald's All-American Girls game from Oklahoma City. We're at the Ford Center. Nice move by Kiana Cheney from Baton Rouge. He's going to LSU.
I thought Tim asked Coach Wooten a great question about the fundamentals of the game, because it was the legendary coach, the Wizard of Westwood, who said, you know what, if you want to learn about women's basketball, if you want to learn the next level of the game, go watch a women's basketball game. They pass, they cut, they reverse the basketball. And, you know, those guys, I mean, when I think of John Wooden or Morgan Wooten, you think of someone who taught the game at the simplest levels fundamentally.
Mel Thomas with the basket. She's off to Connecticut. Her high school team in Cincinnati, Mount Notre Dame High School, ranked #2 in the country. They went 28-0 this year. Their head coach also is a full-time dentist. You don't see many of those in basketball, right?
No, not at all. But, you know, as I look at all the Tennessee kids that are in this game, how many times have you had 3 players who were National Players of the Year, you know, different awards on the same team? Wiley, Gatewood, Parker, Hornbuckle in the different classifications have all been named High School Player of the Year this year, and they're all going to Knoxville.
And of course, Parker's won it twice. And a lot of people think, as we said earlier, that he might be the best female player to come out of high school in the last 10 years. Some think maybe the best ever. Kiana Cheney, who had a basket earlier. Some think that she is the best player ever to come out of the state of Louisiana. We haven't talked a lot until really the last 5 minutes or so about Alexis Hornbuckle, who's also off to Tennessee.
Yeah, Alexis was telling me that being from West Virginia, she was in a 3-point contest, and she had the last shot to win it and missed. And from that point, she committed herself to improve the range on her 3-pointer.
Well, she found the range. She's averaging 25 points a game, 16.5 rebounds in high school. But I like the fact that she's quick and she's so long, and she can dunk as well. Maybe she and Candace can go over to Thompson Bowling on their own and just dunk on each other.
You said you thought there were 5 players in this game that could dunk.
That's a lot.
I would have loved to see Sylvia Fowles have a chance to do her 360. That would have been impressive.
Well, the fact that she's actually thinking about what she wants to do just tells you the confidence level.
Great pass by Erica White. Foul on the play as Wanisha Smith got hacked by Cheney.
It's great court awareness here. You draw the defense to the middle, and then you slide to the rim.
Erica has 3 state championship rings, and she said that her most precious ring is her McDonald's All-American ring.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess it just shows you, you know, what's important to someone is different than somebody else. I mean, these games give a lot of players exposure. And it gives them the opportunity to show, you know what, I might not have the national recognition that somebody else has, but there's a lot of people out here that, you know, gave me the opportunity to play.
There's a lot of neat stories with these ladies. You just saw Smith at the foul line. She said the highlight of her weekend, and all these players probably have different highlights. Some getting a chance to play against players they've only read about, others having a chance to get the ring. Wanisha Smith's highlight was going to the Ronald McDonald house and having a chance to meet the kids, and she really walked away humble and feeling great about the fact that she's a healthy basketball player.
Yeah, those experiences really mean a lot. And, you know, the first player I actually met when I was walking to the team bus today was Wanisha Smith, and she had her video camera out. And the only thing she doesn't have right now in the game is her video camera in her hand.
She does have 10 points, though, after 3. Hornbuckle with a basket off the break. But back to Smith. She's off to Duke, more than 2,500 points in high school, averaged 20 per game this year and 7 assists.
Well, they got a lot of great guards at Duke. You know, they have Monique Curry, they've got Lindsey Harding, the point guard. But when you have someone who can just break your ankles off the dribble, you know, you're an event into yourself.
Sunday, it's the Women's Championship Final Four. LSU, Tennessee at 6:30 Eastern, followed by the 2-seed Connecticut trying for its 3rd consecutive national championship. taking on the 17th Minnesota at 9 Eastern.
Gail Gestencourt looked so frustrated, didn't she, try to get her guards and her team to play better versus Minnesota the other night?
I felt so bad for her because she really is one of the finest coaches. She's done so much, not just for Duke, but for women's basketball, like a lot of the other coaches. And you want things to happen, good things to happen to good people.
Monisha Smith on the break. She has 12 points, tying her with Alexis Hornbuckle for the team lead.
Well, the all-time leading scorer in the 3 years, I should say the 2 years of this tournament, was Ann Strother and Shauna Zolman. They each had 21 points in the 0-2 game.
Nice move by Sharday Houston, who's off to Connecticut to study criminal justice, wants to be an FBI agent.
You know, it'll be criminal when she does something wrong for Gino. He's such a good coach. He's come a long way since his days at St. Joe's, way back.
Smith is on fire. A 3 out of the corner. 15 points now for the Duke-bound Monisha Smith, who could be the replacement for Elena Beard there.
It looks like Erlana Larkins is hurt. He may have to get her out of the game.
She's hobbling up the floor as Hornbuckle looks to push the tempo. Great feed underneath. Smith has it blocked. It'll stay East basketball. Alexis Hornbuckle and Monisha Smith having a great performance for the East squad as Jay Williams looks on.
Gervin down low. Gervin takes a shot. Good. 33. Moses. Shoot it, Moses. He made it.
David Robinson with authority.
It all comes down to this. Holy Toledo.
For the best protection against water damage, one name says it all. Thompson's Water Seal. Waterproofer plus wood protector for the highest level of water protection guaranteed. Thompson's Water Seal. Thompson's Water Seal Advanced. The most powerful protection against water damage.
If you're unaware of your credit history, you may be paying higher interest than you should. You could be denied the house of your dreams. You could even live the nightmare of identity theft. Now you can see for yourself if your credit history is accurate at TrueCredit.com. Log on now to find out what type of credit product is right for you and how you can protect yourself from identity theft. Order our special TV offer online now and get absolutely free your credit score, weekly fraud alert emails for a year, and this helpful guide to managing your credit. It's from TransUnion, so you know it's secure. Life's full of obstacles. You just gotta know where they are. So go to TrueCredit.com. True Credit. Manage your credit. Manage your life.
Friday, a suicide victim leaves a note that could destroy the DA's marriage and his career.
I'm suppressing it as a sensitive document.
And that's just for starters.
What is in that note?
An all-new DA ABC Friday, 10/9 Central.
Welcome back to the McDonald's High School All-American Girls Game. Tonight, a week of madness presented by Harley-Davidson continues with the NIT Championship game pitting Rutgers against Michigan at 7 Eastern on ESPN. It's followed by the three-point contest of College Slam Dunk. All part of a week of madness presented by Harley-Davidson on ESPN. For more, go to ESPN.com. East team leading by 24 points, just over 7 minutes left. So far, Monisha Smith and Alexis Hornbuckle have to be the leading candidates for MVP.
Yeah, they've been shooting the heck out of the ball in the second half, doing a really nice job.
Hornbuckle with the basketball, 24 in red. She's from South Charleston, West Virginia, going to Tennessee. Pat Summitt will like that. Showing her range again. Second three of this half. She now has 15 points in the game.
Yeah, a couple numbers that jump out at me. A total of 46 turnovers in this game. And listen to this number, 28 steals.
A lot of thievery going on in Oklahoma City, but a lot of that really is that the defenders are getting in the passing lanes, and a lot of the offensive players are just not knowing where to go.
How about that three by Candace Parker? Carmelo Anthony likes what he sees here in this game. 2002 McDonald's All-American, won a national championship, won the Powerade Jam Fest in 02.
What a year. What a year he has had in LeBron James. And they're really just class acts. And I think it's really neat that in the middle of his schedule, he can slide down here to Oklahoma City, support a game that was very important to him in his development.
Tuesday night, he had 41 points. He and LeBron James both had over 40 on the same night.
I would be interested to see what kind of advice he would give these 9 boy players that are considering a jump to the NBA, what he would say regarding going to college for a year and experiencing campus life.
Well, I can remember a couple years ago after Kwame Brown went to Washington with the #1 pick, Spinderella is going to be just fine.
With the left hand.
With the left.
She's got left, she's got right.
She hits a three, then she comes down, spins, and goes to the offhand.
Watch this. She drove, she got herself squared up, and she's so good with either hand.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
and she never lost a high school game in 3 years in which she played in.
Well, that's why 3 of her teammates came down from Naperville Central to support her here. You know, when you're really good, sometimes people don't like you. She's really good, and a lot of people really like her.
14 points for Candace Parker.
Wow.
No way.
Essence Carson.
There's some beautiful music from Carson.
Oh, that was, would you say, classical? And she is a classical pianist and plays the saxophone. When Chopin is your favorite artist, not like Ludacris or, like I said before, Usher, you know that she is well-rounded.
Well, the girls were all excited because in the hotel, she was playing Beethoven. She is a prodigy, and she's going to Rutgers because they do have a prestigious school of music.
Parker again. What's been more impressive, Parker winning the slam dunk contest, or what we've seen in the last 2 minutes from her in this game?
I still like the dunk, Dave.
I think Morgan Wooten liked the give and go, but that's just fundamental basketball by a legend.
They can't stop Hornbuckle as she scores again. Another three. She's got 18 points in the game. Man, is Tennessee going to have a good group of freshmen. Remember the Fab Five from your alma mater, Tim McCormick, Michigan. But in women's basketball, they may have the best recruiting class in a long time.
And I can tell you, this Fab Five will stay in school for 4 years.
Based on what Nancy was saying earlier about the financial ramifications not being exactly comparable to the NBA.
Yeah, you're just looking at your pass, you follow your pass. Now, defensively, if somebody passes to the wing, you've got to jump to the ball and send the cutter behind you. But this is the All-Star game.
Yep.
This is for fun.
And I know how much you like Candace, but one thing to worry about Nancy, her long-term goal, she wants to be a broadcaster.
And I will be retired by then. Enjoying her calling the games.
When we come back, the best plays of the day in the McDonald's All-American Girls game. Think we'll see some of Candace Parker?
Douglas Baker has always been reasonably happy with his choice of hairstyle. But recently, Douglas switched to Progressive Auto Insurance. And if they can shake things up by letting you compare a competitor's rates and over 20 other facts and figures, then perhaps he too should step up to the plate. Way to go, Douglas. Think easier. Think Progressive. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Baseball is back. It's opening night on ESPN2. Hope springs eternal for the Bo Sox and the O's as these AL East foes square off to start the new season. After a bitter ending to last year's playoff run, Pedro Martinez has Boston recharged for another pennant chase, while Baltimore is looking to its trio of new stars to get them back into contention. Opening night, presented by the Home Depot, Red Sox Orioles, Sunday at 8 on ESPN.
Here I am, tell me the reason they can watch you put me through. Look now, where does it push you? Can't feel for what I've done. Here I am, tell me the reason.
is like a sewer. You never know what slimy, disgusting thing might crawl out. Take me, for example.
Women don't care that this lawyer's a rat, as long as he gets them off.
Okay, ladies, let's take a look at those briefs.
But I don't have them on me.
Indeed.
Gary the Rat, starring Kelsey Grammer. Thursday nights on Spike TV.
Welcome back to the McDonald's High School All-America game from Oklahoma City. The East pounding the West. Take a look at our plays of the day. Candace Parker, who won the slam dunk contest the other night. Impressive again in this game, and so has her future teammate Alexis Hornbuckle.
In transition, where these players do their best work, and this is fun because there are no restrictions. They can try stuff that they probably wouldn't do in a real game, and that was incredible. Michael Jordan-esque by Essence Carson. And what a pretty name that is, Essence.
It is absolutely beautiful, but Tim, you brought up a lot of great points in the game tonight, but I like the fact that the girls are playing kind of outside the bun, if I may use that as a expression, because we're so worried about, oh my gosh, we're going to go one-on-one, coach is going to get mad. If you're going to try things, experiment, this is the place to do it. Find out the creativity you have within your own game.
How about Ejevon wanted some more points? She thought Hornbuckle had too many, so she went to the line in her place. Hornbuckle with 19 points now in the game.
Yeah, normally, don't you replace somebody that's not a good shooter?
Yeah, right. Hornbuckle hasn't missed, seemingly, in the second half. She's got 3 triples since intermission and 20 points now for the game. She will be at Tennessee along with Nikki Anisicki, Alex Fuller, Candace Parker, and Sade Wiley-Gatewood. 3 of those 5 are considered to be centers. All going to play for Pat Summitt in the fall. Wiley-Gatewood misses the 3. Carson with a 3-on-1.
That's just textbook, even though the shot was missed by Hornbuckle. Way to slide the defense to you and then pass on the diagonal.
Candace Parker pulling up. Missed just about everything. Hornbuckle will slow it down now. There's Carson going to Rutgers, one of 2 players in this game. It'll play for Vivian Stringer.
Wow, that is just beautiful. Those are the things you didn't see years ago in the women's game. The up screen, the lob to the rim. Now it's kind of a fixture within the offense. Tennessee players in this game have 44 points.
And Sharday Houston looks to me like the best big player off the dribble. You get the sense she can get her shot whenever she wants it, but doing the alley-oop, that was pretty impressive as well.
It is, and you know, this is the time of the game where you just want to have fun, shoot the ball. You don't want anybody to get hurt. It's winding down.
Sissy Pierce for 3. She's ranked as one of the best long jumpers in the country for the class of 2004, and also one of the best long shooters in women's high school basketball.
How do you think she'll fit in for Coach Vanderveer next year?
I think she'll be absolutely remarkable. She really had her coming out party at the USA Festival in June last year. The developmental league played really well, took her game to another level.
She actually wanted to go to Stanford since she was 6 years old, and as she grew up, she really appreciated the fact that she had chosen a school to like that was great academically and athletically.
I mean, Tara Vanderveer's a Hall of Famer. She's a former Olympic coach.
We've seen some great girls basketball tonight. On Sunday, women's basketball takes center stage on ESPN. It's the NCAA Women's Championship Final Four, a week of madness presented by Harley-Davidson, continuing with LSU Tennessee and UConn Minnesota. What do you like in those games, guys?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think that UConn.
Okay.
Well, they are the incumbent. They've won 2 championships in a row. The Big East has won the last 4, and we had a chance to see the players that have come through over the last couple of years and what universities they've been to.
Yeah, and I picked UConn because they have the best player.
They do have the best player in Diana Taurasi. And let me tell you what, Lindsay Whalen has proven she's not that far behind.
So UConn and Tennessee could be playing in the final. They have a combined 15 players who have played in this game.
basketball's best meet in New Orleans for the Final Four. Coverage begins at 6:30 with LSU versus Tennessee, Minnesota versus Connecticut at 9, Sunday on ESPN.
I'm loving it. What's the deal? Why the grins on your faces? It's too early for the normal social graces. Is it my smile, my look, or what I say? I'm not complaining, things are going my way, yeah.
Get things your way with breakfast at McDonald's. With great tasting favorites like the classic Egg McMuffin or the hearty Sausage McMuffin with egg.
McDonald's, the best way to start my day. I'm loving it.
Big man wearing jeans and a flannel shirt. Big man swinging a miss. Big man diaper starting to sag. Gotta get his pants up. Big man taking off the gloves looking for a fight. Big man, big man. Oh, big man taking the top off the Quick Creek crack seal. Oh, big man squeezing the cock.
New Quick Creek Concrete Repair. Keeps annoying cracks from getting worse.
My friends and enemies, 20.
20 in the house right now!
Hardly the power.
The past meets the present. Introducing the new Nike 20 collection. Nowhere but Champ Sports.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the McDonald's Girls High School All-American Game is presented by McDonald's and in part by Quick Creek Concrete Products. Nothing's easier to use than Quikrete.
This is the third annual McDonald's All-American High School Girls Game. We're in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Dave Pash, Tim McCormick, and Nancy Lieberman. Possible MVPs. Two players headed to Tennessee. Slam dunk champ Candace Parker. And on the right, Alexis Hornbuckle.
Boy, Hornbuckle has just taken her game to another level in the second half, showing us everything she has in her game.
22 points for Hornbuckle, and her 6 rebounds lead the East team.
Yeah, and I think that you have to go with the MVP from the team that's up by 27 points.
So you're not going with Candace Parker. You're going with Hornbuckle. I agree with you. I think she is the leading scorer in the game and the leading rebounder for her team. And her team's up by 27. Here are the MVPs from the last 3 years.
And to really to show you that there's such impact players, Katie Geralds was the second leading scorer behind Sharika Wright, the All-American for Purdue this year. She came off the bench and gave them firepower, double figures. Shoshana Zolman can just light it up from 3. She had a big shot in the Tennessee win over Stanford at the end of the game.
Shebron hits the first free throw. She'll have one more.
Shebron, you think that's going to stick?
Yeah, I was talking to someone earlier today, and they used that. And I said, oh, I got to use it. That's great. And they said, sorry, it's already been all over ESPN. And David Letterman trying to get her on the show.
Shebron as in LeBron, for those of you that just tuned in. and also, I'm so impressed that she's not playing her A game today. She's not shooting the ball like you would expect, but she has kept at it. And now all of a sudden, what was a terrible first half, 2 out of 9 from the field, she's been very solid here in the last 10 minutes.
I'm sorry, Dave. In an all-star game, the guards have the advantage because the bigs have to have you give them the rock, or they can't do their thing.
See, I'd love to hear you give some love to the big people. That's great. Let's take a look and enjoy the work of All-American Candace Parker. She does it in so many ways. She can take her player off the dribble, and with the left, she showed the range and also getting inside.
She's just so good.
And as I heard from Nell, Coach Portner said that she's like Neapolitan. She can do it in all 3 ways.
Nell, I looked that up in the dictionary to come on with that one.
Humphrey with the fadeaway. The 2-time Miss Basketball in Georgia. Well, it was interesting, guys, when Candace Parker was coming back on defense the last time down the floor. She was looking at Carmelo Anthony, who was sitting right in front of her. I think she wanted to see if Melo was keeping an eye on her. And if he was impressed by what he's seen so far, I think the answer is yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Block shot underneath. Langhorne gets it back and has it stripped by Wiley Gatewood.
That's one of the things with a game like this and with the guys being here. If you don't think they play to kind of see if the guys are sort of watching or if the guys are looking to see if the gals are watching, there's some pride here. There's a little of that going on.
Parker again.
One of the hidden fun things about this week is that the boys and the girls had a great time together. You can really see some strong friendships that have developed.
White with no look. Anasicki, who's off to Tennessee in the fall, gets the basket inside.
These are just memorable moments. They'll be talking about this when they get on the court next year, when they're playing in the NCAA tournament. Remember when we played in that McDonald's game? And those are memories. I mean, just think of the years that you spent in the NBA and the memories you have.
And try the alley-oop with Langhorne. And they're unable to connect.
And how do you like this for a complete annihilation? The East has had every player score, and every player has at least 2 rebounds.
That just means a lot of people got to play, and they did something when they did.
Thomas is fouled. Actually committed the foul, and Erica White will go to the foul line. So White having a terrific night. She's going to LSU. Was the state tournament MVP as a junior in Florida. Jacksonville, Florida is where she's from.
Dave, I want to send out congratulations to the people from the Ronald McDonald House and Powerade and Coca-Cola and all their sponsors. The city of Oklahoma City has been a great host, and this event has come off flawlessly.
Well, that's 2 big events in the state of Oklahoma in a short period of time. They were absolutely stellar. The fans in Oklahoma, in Norman, for the Women's Midwest region, pretty tough when Sherry Cole's team got eliminated. The fans came out, supported women's basketball. Joe Castiglione, who's the AD at Oklahoma, is just building a powerhouse, and their class.
Here comes Mel Thomas, who just hit a 3 last time down the floor. He's going to play for Gino Auriemma at Connecticut.
Does Mel Thomas remind you of anybody, Nancy?
She reminds me of Maria Conlon a little bit, who's the other guard. She's a fantastic player. But when you have Diana Taurasi, it's the other guard in the backcourt. A very good shooter. She's not going to break you down off the dribble, but she's going to look and hit her shots.
There is perhaps the MVP of this game, Alexis Hornbuckle, who's going to Tennessee from South Charleston, West Virginia.
She would be my pick for MVP. She really played exceptionally well.
Final 30 seconds. See if they clear out for Candace Parker to dunk.
Let's see something good. Wouldn't that be fun?
I don't think it's going to happen, though. I don't think the East is just going to let her drive and dunk. And Parker commits an offensive foul as her future teammate Anasicki steps in there and takes a charge.
Just some things to come in practice when they get there. They know each other's moves so well.
I feel that some of these players are pretty tired. They have had a lot of activities, a lot of moving around, and 1 or 2 real intense scrimmages each day.
They're not done. They've got more all-star events coming up in other cities following their stint here in Oklahoma City, which is over as the East team clobbers the West by 25. But what a great night. A lot of fun to watch. Candace Parker was everything that we thought she'd be. And Alexis Hornbuckle, her future teammate at Tennessee, was also terrific for the East.
And the Eastern team was loaded. They had big athletic players. I think both groups competed very well. And once again, I'm so impressed with the high caliber of skill level.
And I agree with you, too. To see a team that can go down low, get the ball inside, they rebound it, they run. Because if you don't have the ball, you can't do what you do best, and that's push tempo.
91-66 the final score. The East knocks off Candace Parker, the slam dunk champion, and the rest of the West squad. Erica White says, "Hi, Mom." Hornbuckle, perhaps the MVP for the East. She had a terrific night and is off to Tennessee to join Candace Parker. They'll play for Pat Summitt next year in Knoxville.
jeans and a flannel shirt. Big man, swing and a miss. Big man, diaper starting to sag. Gotta get his pants up. Big man, taking off the gloves, looking for a fight. Big man, big man. Oh, big man, taking the top off the quick creek crack seal. Oh, big man, squeeze the cock.
New Quick Creek Concrete Repair. Keeps annoying cracks from getting worse.
Know what frustrates me? People use the wrong product to stop water from leaking through their basement walls. They think a water sealer will do the same job as a waterproofer. Water sealers go on thin and only repel water. But Drylock Masonry Waterproofer goes on thick. It fills the pores in the masonry and expands as it dries to form a tough waterproof barrier. Use it on exterior masonry and concrete swimming pools, too. So don't use a water sealer when you need a waterproofer. Use Drylock or latex-based Drylock. They're guaranteed to stop water.
Alexis Hornbuckle, she was just named the MVP. Alexis, your thoughts on the game and the way you played?
Well, I think we picked it up a lot towards the first 5 minutes. We were nervous, and then after that, we just knew we had to play.
Point guard in high school, probably playing shooting guard at Tennessee. Talk about the transition and what you're expecting from Coach Summit and being on a national championship contender.
I got to learn how to shoot more. I mean, I was trying to make Coach proud out here, trying to shoot from the three-line and contribute a little more, passing the ball.
Alexis, everybody enjoyed this week. Everybody had their favorite things. What was the most impactful thing for you?
Going to the Ronald McDonald House and visiting the sick little kids and just making their day and putting a smile on their face.
Very good. As you look at the friendships, you had 5 players going to Tennessee. Did you have a chance to bond with a lot of them?
Yeah, I mean, we go around, we talking UT, and then all the teams in the Final Four, we was going back at each other, but I'm just glad to be here with all 4 of them.
All right, congratulations, and go get your award.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Dave.
All right, Tim, appreciate it. And Alexis talked to Nancy Lieberman about shooting better from 3. She did pretty well. She was 4 for 5.
Well, she did, and she really looked a lot more at ease in the second half. But I thought the fact that the East went to the foul line 25 times, 10 more times than the West. They had 17 steals. That said a lot about the outcome of the game.
Hornbuckle had 22 points, 6 rebounds, and she is the most valuable player in the 2004 McDonald's High School All-American Girls game. And Candace Parker didn't disappoint either. She had a double-double, 19 points to go along with 10 rebounds.
Well, she obviously supersized her effort for the game today. It's not a surprise that great players, raise their game in situations like this. They're ready for the next level, every one of these players.
Parker also had 4 blocks in the game, and she's standing by right now with Tim McCormick.
All right, with Candace Parker here, she really turned it on in the second half. You showed everybody that your game is for real. Tell me a little bit about your experience in the game today.
I mean, it was a fast-paced game. I think we played hard, and it just didn't come out the way we wanted it to.
As you look back on your week here with the Ronald McDonald game, what are the most impactful things that you went through?
Just, I think going and visiting the Ronald McDonald House was an emotional experience. I mean, you see kids, and this is what this game is really about, is the charity. And I mean, it was just fun visiting with my friends and getting to know them better.
Now, on your finger, you wear something that's kind of cool. Can you explain what it is right there?
Allen Iverson sent this to me for Christmas, and I wear it every game. If I'm without it, I'm lost.
And her brother, Anthony Parker, played with Allen Iverson, and she's a heck of a player. Dave, back to you.
All right, Tim, and Candace upset that her team loses 91-66 to the East. Coming up next, Sports Reporters Prime Time here on ESPN2. The East wins it 91-66, the final score. Alexis Hornbuckle, who's going to Tennessee, is the MVP of the game, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Nancy Lieberman and Tim McCormick and our entire crew, I'm Dave Pash. Once again, the final score for the 2004 McDonald's All-American game, East 91, West 66. Good night from Oklahoma City.
Tradition. They say there are no dynasties in college basketball anymore, but the Duke Blue Devils almost feel like a berth in the Final Four is a rite of spring. You call this tradition? The baseball season opens 7,000 miles from Yankee Stadium, in March no less.